Welcome back, adventurers and fellow world builders. My name is Yadro, and this is Yadro Gaming. It's been way too long. We have to get back at it. I need to know what happens to Zeb after he made it through these tunnels, and we're going to send him out into the world and see what kind of trouble he can get into this week. This is the second session of our journey into Shadowdark RPG, and we're going to be solo once again, just following Zeb's journey and seeing how long it can survive. So if we jump back over to our map, you can see that I've rebuilt it out based on what we added last session. So now we have a whole new group of hexes to go explore. He just left through the tunnels here. He was able to rest in the safe zone in the plains. And now we're going to figure out which way he needs to go. From here, as he's kind of like elevated up in the mountains and these grasslands, I'm guessing he's going to want to avoid the swamplands here. I'm not sure what's out in this region, but he does see that there's like this deserty, sandy sort of patch here where the tide might come in. And he doesn't know that it is a deadly zone, but we do. So I think he's going to be heading out onto the grasslands after finishing his long rest. He's got all of his health back. He now has 9 health, and he's got some armor now. He does not have armor, but he gained a specialty of armor. So he's in dire need of it. So I think we're going to head down in this direction and skirt around these mountains because he doesn't want to get too deep in there and whatever kind of dangerous things live there. So let's get started. Zeb heads out from the cave. He wakes up in the morning. He's still kind of reeling from losing his 3 friends, I'm sure. But the path of least resistance is through those sands. So if we are going to head through that sandy region there, which is deadly, we're going to move over to our overland travel rules, which I have right here. So it is a deadly zone, which means we're going to have to take a check every hour as we pass through here. It takes 4 hours to walk through a hex. That's going to be 4 different checks. So we're going to roll 4d6, and we are going to see if he triggers any 1s on these dice. Only 1s trigger random events. So let's see how we do. Wow, 6, 5, 6, 4. He is able to pass through this sandy region. There's all sorts of like shells that have washed up in this area. It is pretty much as far as you can see. Zeb is able to see over the horizon. It might be a little bit of like dunes built up in here, but it's like very moist, like the tide has just gone out, thankfully, and he's able to pass through this region. Unbeknownst to him that this is a super deadly zone, but he was able to finally get a little bit of luck to break his side and makes good time heading through this area. Awesome. I was really worried about that. So Zeb is going to go to pass through. Let's head back to our map as we move from one deadly zone to another. So on the edge of this beachy sort of sandy area where the tide has just gone out, a forest is approaching him as he moves here. It takes about, 4 hours to move through a hex. And you can do 2 hexes in a day, otherwise it starts to get really difficult. But he's heading into another dangerous zone. This woods is pretty thick. It's kind of like the area that's not choked off whenever the tide comes in, so kind of right between where the elevation gets high enough that it's not drowned out. That is the woods that he is looking through here. He just continues to press on in this direction. With these mountains rising up to his left, the sand is now behind him, and he's moving into this dense forest area. I think he's pretty adept at traveling through here. I kind of picture a goblin knowing his way around the woods, and his keen senses are always tingling. But let's see if we are able to avoid any of the dangers also in this forest. So I'm going to roll 4 more d6 and see if we trigger. Again, our lucky little goblin is able to make good time through this forest. Ever vigilant, his keen senses are always tingling. He's always looking out for danger. Clutching his great axe, he continues moving through this forest. As we've now moved through 2 hexes, we're getting into a part of the night where we might want to hunker down. So I think he's going to look in either direction here and just say, do I want to head westward? Do I want to head southward? And let's see what that looks like. We're going to say west is odd, and it's even to go south. It is a 9, so west was odd, so he moves into that forested area, which is a safe hex. Again, a lucky roll for our boy Zeb as he moves into that safe hex and is able to hunker down for the night and just take a little bit of a breather, being able to survive once again on his own out here. So now let's take a look at what things are like around here. Is he able, it's safe, so there's no like threats here that are going to accost him. He's going to get his rest over the night, but is he able to like look for any sort of a food here? Let's say this is going to be, I think that they recommend that for like any checks you make, there's like certain numbers that you want to hit. I think that's on the front. Okay, yeah, so an easy task, a normal task. Let's say this is normal, DC 12, to see if he is able to actually hunt here. And I'm going to say that that is going to be probably an intelligence-based stat, like a wisdom. I kind of still picture that as being kind of a druid sort of a task. Let's just say this is a wisdom roll to see if he's able to hunt for food tonight. 19 plus a 1 on his wisdom is a 20. He's able to catch some small game to at least feed himself tonight. So he's able to benefit from this long rest, recover for the day, and be able to set out in the morning once he has his bearings, once, night has gone through, the sun rises, and he's able to see his direction. He might give thanks to St. Tyrangus and all of her, St. Tyrangness, I think is what her name is. Yes, that is his deity. She is this female knight, and I picture her like kind of being sunlight, dawn, radiance. He says a prayer to her this night to give him safe rest, and he's able to receive it. Pretty uneventful so far. He wakes up in the next morning, and he decides to head out once again. Let's see if he has any kind of luck in knowing where to go here. I don't know what's off in this area, and I don't want to roll for it to see what it is. But there is a place of interest here, but then there's also the ruins of a city, and I know that he wants to get to a ruin so that he can actually maybe pick up some gear. He might not know it's a ruins yet, but maybe he is able to see civilization off to that way. So let's make an oracle roll on this. If he actually does head south towards that, or if he continues off in another direction. So does he notice that there are ruins here? That's 11 to 20 is a yes. That is a crit 20. So that is the most extreme version possible. So not only yes, does he notice that there are ruins here, but maybe he is able to see like smoke. Like maybe there is actually like a sign of life there or something, where he sees that rising above the tree line, and he knows that that is his heading, and he's going to make a beeline directly for that ruins. Oh, this is awesome. What a perfect D20 roll. That's great. So Zeb gets a pep in his step. He thinks that there is a civilization nearby, and he's going to take off directly to get to those ruins. So now we have to move through another hex to get there. So we are moving through another forested area. He's over here in the safe zone. He has to pass through... What do I have as R? So to get there, he has to pass through a risky area. So it's going to be a check every 2 hours. That's going to be 2 checks if he wants to make it through this forest without having an encounter roll. So again, we're going to have 2 dice roll here, and we're going to see what we wind up with. 5 and a 2, that triggers no random encounter, and he's able to pass through. Wow, this is way better than the tunnels that he had to deal with as he passes into another hex. And now he has seen that there is a ruins rising up out of this forest. How old are these ruins? I think right now the only indication that we even have they are ruins is 16b, a village in ruins. It is risky, so there are monsters there. So let's say, if we're going back to our oracle, let's roll and say, is this a old ruin? Has this place been like abandoned for a long time? Got to get it in the dish. Purple dice is jumpy. No, it is not old. Strongly, total opposite side. It is most extreme. This is very, very fresh. I think as Zeb is approaching, he can smell blood in the air. I think that there's still some kind of a conflict here. There are threats here. Oh my goodness. Okay, I did not expect that. I think we're going to turn this ruins into a dungeon. I think that is the best thing to do when met with this. Oh man, so I bet this conflict is still breaking out. If it is an extreme no on that, I think that it might still be happening as we speak. So let's jump over to our random tables here. So we're going to roll some things here to see what this place is actually like. We already know the danger level. It is risky because that is what the hex was when we first got here. What is the size of it? How big is this settlement, I guess? It is a 1. It's small. Okay, so it's a nice small little village that we have set up here. So that's going to be 5d10. I'm so curious on what he's actually going to find here. If it is this fresh, are there even any survivors? I think that is the... We're going to try to line those up in order. Oop. Oh, I don't know if that was a 7 or a 3. I'm going to re-roll it. Another 1. So 5, 1, 6, 2, 1. So if we set this up just like it's a dungeon, let me grab my little dungeon sheet. Okay, so we're not there or out. So room number 1 of this, room type. So 5 is going to be, there's a solo monster that I bet he's going to want to avoid. I mean, now he's feeling kind of beefy, so he might not. 1 is empty. 6 is an NPC. I like that. 2 is an empty, and no, is an empty. Man, so all those empty areas, that tells me that it's going to be bodies. Like, there's just not a ton to find there. Every house he goes into is just going to be empty as he meets them. So let's look at the monster here. I already had something immediately come to mind where it's a solo monster, but I want to see what that table actually tells me. So I already know what the rooms look like. So now we can jump over what the solo monster actually is. It's going to be 2d6. Black is going to be first. A 3 and a 5. This is a mighty spellcaster. Man, so okay, obviously this spellcaster has laid waste to this village. I don't know why he is there yet, but we're going to roll on the NPC chart to see what that actually looks like, and then we're going to look at the NPC chart here. We just have 1, a 6, a rival crawler. Interesting. Okay, so it's going to be a statted character. We're going to find out what that actually looks like. Oh man, this is like all coming together in such a neat way. So we have a rival crawler that might end up becoming a friend. We'll see what that actually looks like. And then a solo monster that is a mighty spellcaster. Okay, all right. So I have a random table here of different things that I think could be here, and we are in a forest. And I'm immediately drawn to, I know that there's a kobold like sorcerer in the book, and that is level 3. So I think that would be considered a mighty spellcaster. So I'm not even going to roll for it. That is what I kind of have on the sheet. That's what makes sense to me. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to jump over in the monster handbook. And the solo monster is the first thing he sees. So I think this sorcerer kobold is just like in the middle of town. Maybe it's like cutting off like bits of the people that it's finding there. Maybe it's like actually casting spells out into the city, just making sure that there's no one there. But I'm going to jump over to their stat block now and go to, I believe it's just the kobold section, and then I have it broken down by like comma sorcerer. So I've got the sorcerer, kobold sorcerer pulled up, and that could be a pretty dangerous encounter for us here. So as he pulls up, he sees this kobold sorcerer in town. Let's roll on the NPC chart to see what the deal is with this individual. It's this way. Okay, I've jumped over here to the motivations for the NPCs, and I don't know if I necessarily need any of those tables, but I want the motivations, the verb and the noun. So let's start off by doing the verb. 4, spoil, 33, spoil the oppressed. Oh man, to me, that says that like he views himself as the oppressed. Maybe some of his other like kobold people were slain by the villagers here, and he has come here seeking revenge, where he doesn't have anyone with him. Like maybe there was just like a recent purge where they found the kobold den and killed the kobolds inside, and the kobold sorcerer was like out there and about, doing whatever sorcerers do at that time, and he has come back to exact his revenge, and he has taken it out on this village, where he has single-handedly wiped out everyone that's in this village except for an NPC that we're going to find here in a minute. So we are approaching this scene. Zeb sees this individual walking through town, and I want to give them like opposing checks to see if he can like sleuth his way in, or we're jumping right into combat and seeing how that goes. So our enemy is going to be black and actually it might, yeah, that'd be easier to see. And our Zeb is going to be green. One is going to be like a spot check, and we're going to see if they are able to see him. I think that is a wisdom roll, and then Zeb is going to be dexterity to hide through. Zeb is able to slink away, so it does not catch him. With a 16 on the dice, he does have a -2, so that's a 14. But the Kobold Sorcerer wisdom score is pretty low at just a +1. Yeah, easy. Zeb is not wearing armor, so he's not super loud, so he's able to like slink in. He jumps into one building and notices that it's completely empty. He might see some things of value, but right now is not the time to go like shuffling through debris. He is just trying to stay out of line of sight of this sorcerer. That's like making some kobold like noises, like I think you're gonna do this to me. I'm gonna just kind of mumbling to himself in a very sinister way as he just nuked this whole place. And I think they have an ability to like summon spiders. He has a scorpion sting spell. He can dodge, and he has spider swarm. So there's like spiders kind of crawling all over him, crawling over these bodies, just kind of desecrating them after the fact. As much as this hurts Zeb to see, with his like positive lawful deity, I think that right now survival is his main thing, and he's going to try to avoid this combat as long as he can. At some point, he's going to stumble on our statted NPC. It says rival crawler, but they might be. Man, it feels to me like they're locked down in one of these buildings. Like they are in the same sort of situation that Zeb is, as he is wandering his way through these ruins, and he stumbles on another individual that's here. So I actually have a table here for NPC power level. So I'm going to give that a roll. Number 3 is like right in the middle. So we're just going to roll some percentile dice and just see where they land on the table comparative to Zeb's power level. 43 means they're comparable. So this is like another level 1 adventurer or crawler, whatever you want to call them, hunkered down in this building. And let's get a little bit of information about them. Let's roll on the NPC modifier and the NPC noun and just see if we learn anything else about them. So I'm going to call that a 40. Hopeless. Okay, they are hopeless. And the noun, 49, governor. Hopeless governor. Ooh. Okay. My mind immediately went to where I feel like I'm injecting a lot of what I want into this, but my first thought was like, this is like the mayor's daughter. That is maybe a bit over her head, because I don't really like the idea of, well, let's see. Is it actually, we have an oracle table. I don't need to leave this on me. Let's roll on our oracle table and just see, is this the actual governor or mayor of this actual village? Let's get a d20 roll in there. Yes, extreme yes. Okay. Man, so the governor was the only one to survive. It's an NPC crawler, so the only one capable enough to know the threat that was coming there. And they are hopeless, as you just watched. I keep saying he. Let's roll it. Odd is a man. Even is a woman. Even is a woman. So we have a female governor, the person that was in charge, that is now a hopeless leader of this, as the whole village was just destroyed, hunkered down in a building. Ooh, is there like a temple or a church? Like, did they go to their god seeking help? Man, I'm going to roll the oracle table again. I feel like I'm abusing this system. But did they go to the church? Yes. So I'm going to say that it is a Saint Taragnus. Taragnus? Yeah, I'll get it right. It is a temple built to his god. So it is the first place that like he would go to himself, and he finds another hopeless crawler, the person that was in charge here that has just lost everything, hunkered down. This woman has been here a while. The door is barricaded, but let's see if he is able to get inside to actually meet with this person. So I picture him like crawling through a window as he's able to open it, and as he stumbles into this temple looking for solace for himself, he stumbles on this other person. Zeb's gruff sort of appearance. He's got no armor on. He doesn't really want to get in a fight here, but he's not real sure what to think of this situation. He's like, hey, I don't want no trouble. I just came in through the window. I'm sorry. What happened here? What's going on? And this girl looks up at him. I think that she is untrusting of a goblin that just kind of showed up here, but it is not the kobold. This is the first person that could offer her help, and she is hopeless, and she's looking for something to hold on to. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're from, but I'm glad you're here. We've got major problems out there. I don't know if you saw him, but there's this kobold sorcerer, some kind of magician out there that just laid waste to our whole village, and I could really use your help if we're going to make it out of this alive. All right, let's take a look and take an inventory of what we got here. Are you the one in charge here? Like, what are we going to do with this? Like, do you have any weapons, any skills of your own? Like, what can I do to count on you in this? She's like, she is an adventurer. She came to the temple. I am going to say that she's a priest. So she has some experience with that. She might be able to heal a little bit. She's a level 1 priest, and right now I just might go to the stat block for that in the book and level it down if I need to. But like, I can heal. I came immediately to the temple to try to get some solace here. I just want to be safe. I don't know if I'm going to make this out alive. And he's like, look, I've been through it myself. Lost a couple crew members, 3 other people, not 2 days ago. I'm going to watch over you. I'm going to take care of you. But we got to work together if we're going to do this. Can I trust you for that? Are you going to have my back? 'Cause I'll have yours. She nods at him. I think this is no roles necessary. She's helpless, and she's got someone here willing to help, albeit a goblin that she just met. I don't think she has a ton of like gear on her. I think she just has like the bare necessities. And if we're able to survive this, I think we'll cover that in a second. But the two kind of steel themselves. They get an update on what's going on there. Basically, they come up with a plan where this girl, let's come up with a name for her in case she is important. Let's go just a random table I have in here. Female name. We'll start with this side, and we'll just do a D100. Get in the dish. 42. Iron. I like that. Iron. We don't need the last name for now, but I'm just going to say Iren. And she's a priest, just so I know later. Okay, so the two come up with a plan. Zeb has his big great axe. He does have a hardy 9 health, so he is going to be the one that is going to take on this sorcerer and try to get in close as quickly as he can, and he's going to hope that she can draw some kind of a distraction to draw its attention. And I think if we're able to successfully get into place here, like maybe he'll have an initiative roll with advantage. That's going to get him a chance to move first in this combat to sneak up and attack this person while they are surprised. Awesome. I think the two hunker down for a little bit as they still hear activity going outside. Like there's some like smashing of pots or glass or something as this kobold sorcerer is looking for any kind of valuables it can. And the two leave out the window that Zeb came in and get to their positions. I'm going to have the two roll stealth as we move around here. And the kobold is kind of distracted, so I'm just going to say it's a DC 9. Ooh. I'm going to say she is able to get into place, but Zeb makes a little bit of noise. So the plan is going well. Iren gets out there. She's moving into position. She's going to try to draw the attention on the other side so that Zeb can get into place, so they can kind of pincer attack, one from either side. But unfortunately, Zeb is too loud. He steps on some rubble, it shifts, and the kobold's attention goes to them, and combat is going to break out. Oh boy. All right, let's do 3 rolls here. I'm going to say that Zeb is green, Iren is purple, and the monster is the black dice again. So let's get an order here. Zeb is going to go last, unfortunately, because he has a -2. The plan didn't work. It noticed him there, so I'm not giving him advantage on the roll, despite it being pretty good. The kobold sorcerer has a dexterity score of +2, so they're going on 5. Let's look up what the priest... Oh man, that's way too strong. So the priest in the book is level 5, and I don't think I agree with that. I might just make them just like a regular old person. They have spellcasting abilities. Let me look at real quick what the actual spells are for the priest. because if we could, you know, get one off, then it'd be great. Part of me wonders if, like, she can't even cast spells because she's out. There's a mechanic where if you roll like a 1, you lose the spell casting for the day. Pre-spells. Man, I think that she's going to try to cast Shield of Faith on Zeb, as he's the one that's going to be point blank. I think she would have maybe done that before they even got into a scrum. Let's look at what that spell is. Shield of Faith, Protective Force, a +2 bonus to your armor class for the duration, which is 5 rounds. So he might have 2 rounds left. It took a couple rounds for them to get into place and for this plan to fall apart. Actually, let's say how many rounds, D4. 1 round. So this first round of combat, he's going to be in a good spot, which is good because he does not go first. But I think that this Kobold is going to see him pull up first. Let's just don't roll a 1. Okay. I'm going to say that the spell took time. And she was able to actually get that off. So the Kobold has a +2 on it. She's going to be a 0, and he's going to be last. So it's going to be Kobold, Iron, and then it's going to be Zeb. Okay, Kobold goes first. Zeb is dead to rights. It's going to cast its Scorpion Sting spell as it moves to a near range, targets him once, and we're going to have a DC 11. So its Charisma is a +2, so it needs to roll a 9 or better for this to work. Stick with the dice. 9 or better. That is a 6. So it is unable to get the spell off. Scorpion Sting misses. It goes as the scorpion tail flies out from it. But it is not able to strike. Iron is going to take this opportunity. Would she have a sling of some sort? I don't know. I don't want to get too bogged down looking at what their abilities would be. She's got Shield of Faith up. That did not apply. I think she's just going to sneak in from the other side. We're going to say she has a D4 weapon. I don't know what that is yet, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. But she rushes in to get that pincer attack. 19 on the dice. We're going to roll that D4. That's definitely going to hit, and she rolls for 3 damage. Its HP is 13. So already it is down to 10 health. Zeb is going to take his moment to take advantage of this. He's got someone actually helping him. He does have a Great Axe on him. It's got a +2 to hit, and he does 1d10 + 1 if he is able to strike. So we are going to roll that to hit. 15 + 2 is a 17. That is going to hit, but it's going to use its dodge ability. An attack that would hit misses instead. So despite this attack about to land true, this thing jumps out of the way. At the very last second, he strikes it into the dirt, looks back up at him as the Kobold begins to attack once again. It's going to use Spider Swarm, and it's going to make a swarm of spiders appear within near, and it stays for 1d4 rounds. It's another Charisma spell. It takes a 12, so I think we need to roll a 10 on this. 18, the Spider Swarm appears on the battlefield, is now in the mix, and this is looking a little bit dangerous for our heroes. I think I need to look up Spider Swarm. Oh, they're a level 2 group. This is going to get dicey. The swarm of spiders are now in the initiative, and I think that they're going to go on their turn. As the spiders appear in the space beside them, it is going to lunge out and try to attack. It does have a bite attack. A +3 on that. So they're going to try to bite Zeb. A 15 + 3 is an 18. That is definitely going to hit because his AC is only 8. And now things get real. Should have rolled a black dice, but it hits Zeb for 2 damage. He's down to 7, and it does have the poison ability. He needs to roll a D12 con save, or he is going to be paralyzed for 1d4 rounds. 19, definitely going to make it. His con score is +1 for a dirty 20. He is not paralyzed, thank goodness, because that would have been game over. So that moves us out of their initiative, and it's going to go to Iron. Iron is going to basically just take out a weapon again. They got to get this Kobold Sorcerer down. If they do, the spiders should go away. Let's see how long the spider is going to stay for. I don't have my black D4. 4 rounds. So they need to get rid of this thing and stat. This was round 1. And she's going to move up and she's going to thwack this kobold again. That's going to be close. 11. She most likely does not have a +2 and has 13 armor. So I'm going to say that that's not going to hit. An 11 on the dice won't hit. As she swings and misses with whatever her club is. And we move over to Zeb. Zeb also is going to focus on just trying to hit this kobold and trying to knock her down. 12 + 2 actually does connect with a 14. Its AC is 13. So he rears back, finally able to connect. Rolls a d10 for his damage. 9. He gets a +1 to that because that is his favorite weapon, which is 10 damage, which is exactly enough to take down the sorcerer. Awesome. And now they just have this swarm of spiders. I actually don't know, and I'm not going to actually look it up. I'm going to ask the Oracle, do summoned creatures disappear when the caster is gone? 17 is a yes. So the spiders just kind of flee. No one is there to tell them what to do anymore, and they disappear. And Iron and Zeb are left alone, just kind of breathing heavily. Very quick fight, in and out of there. Did it. Iron walks up, noticing that Zeb is injured. And as a show of good faith, she's going to try to heal him. I think any priest would have Cure Wounds. So I think that makes sense. We just have to roll for it. Okay, she is close, and we're going to move to her dice, which is purple. 18, she is able to get the spell off. A number of DC equals to 1. Okay. And she rolls a d6. 1 health, resource. Okay. So he doesn't get all of his health back, but he goes from 7 and he is up to 8. The two kind of high five, sit down for a minute, and then they just have a chance to chat for a little bit. Well, looks like we got the threat taken care of. What happened here? Why was this kobold here attacking everybody? Like, don't they stick to their dens? Or are you guys directly in conflict with one another? And really, Iron breaks it down. She just casually explains, I guess there has been skirmishes in the past, as more people have moved into this settlement, into this little village that they've started. That's put them in direct conflict with them. They're competing for resources. And she was the one in charge. She basically sent her people out. She was probably in that raiding band that went after them, killed all of the kobolds in the den, didn't know that the sorcerer was out and about somewhere else doing who knows whatever they do, and came back home victorious. And over the night, that sorcerer kobold came back, slayed everyone that was in the village, and she was the last survivor. She pent up inside of the building, so the kobold couldn't find her, and she was left to her lonesome. And from there, I mean, that's really all that she wrote. She was left alone. She didn't want to take on this creature by herself. It'd be deadly. It was out for vengeance. She had lost all of her hope because she's the one that sent these people off to their death, ultimately, until Zeb was able to arrive. Now, I know that she is a rival. He is going to try his best to persuade her, like, hey, come with me. There's nothing here left for you. Like, I think we should take everything of value that we could find here and try to move on. Try to find another place where we can be safe, and just basically just find civilization, because if we stay here, there's nothing for us. Let's keep moving. I think it's pretty likely that she's going to go with him. I'm going to roll 2 dice and take the higher. Does she join him and leave this village and go to another place with the two of them? I'm going to roll 2 d20s here and take the highest of the 2. 19, we almost had an extreme yes, but she is definitely willing to leave this place and go join Zeb on his travels. Not guarantee that she'll be with him forever, so she has like a little guest symbol by her name, but he will protect her as long as they are together. When they split ways, that's going to be up to her, but the two fan out, and they're going to look for anything of value. I don't think this place would have like an armory necessarily, but we're going to see if they can find anything of value to take along with them. So we're going to do... It's a small room. We defeated 1 creature, and I think there's going to be... I'm going to make 5 treasure rolls, 1 for each of the empty buildings that they found, 1 for the temple, and then 1 for the monster. I think that's fair. So that is a 0 to 3. The first treasure roll is a 44. An undersized pearl. Undersized pearl, and that is worth 20 gold. Nice haul. Second roll 35 is 12 gold in the pocket of a ripped cloak. You hate to see it, but you start going through the loot of the people that are out there, kind of looting the bodies, and you're able to find 12 gold. $44 again, another undersized pearl. Man, I wonder if there's like oysters or something here that they're able to actually draw that from. Like if we're on the coast. Ooh, a gold monkey idol with a ruby gripped in its teeth. Does that have to do with the kobolds? Let me get a d20 roll on that. 17, yes. They took that from the kobolds. A gold. Man, I wonder if I might just make that, it's a kobold, so I kind of feel like I'm going to leave it at that for now, but I kind of want to turn it into a dragon, because in my mind, kobolds are still dragons, but I don't think they are in this set. I think they're more back to like their dog form. Let's keep it as a monkey. A gold monkey idol with a ruby. Oh, that's 60 gold. Man, they've got some coin to spend. They just got to get back to a town. So that is 4, and then we have one more roll. $97. Yeehaw. Oh my gosh, +1 armor, a benefit, and a curse. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's jump over to our table. Oh, I'm so excited. I mean, it's almost definitely going to be chainmail, right? Let's assume we're able to... That would almost be too perfect. Okay, so I'm jumping over to page 284 to figure out what we've got here. All right, so with a 2d6, I'm not going to just decide it. We're going to decide what type of armor. Oh, a 10. Plate mail. Okay, that's a 10. It's plate mail. +1 plate mail. Man, am I breaking the game right now? And the armor bonus is a +1. I know that. Armor benefit and a curse. So let's roll a d12 to come up with the benefit. We'll make green, and the curse we will make black. 8. You have a +4 bonus to your death timers. Ooh. Okay. And the bad side is beneficial spells that target you are hard to cast. Oh, so if she tries to heal him, she's going to be unable to. Man. Hard to cast beneficial spells. That'll be a little bit interesting. DC, I need a... Let's see what the feature is. A d20. Man. A demonic horned face. So this plate mail, it's adorned with like a demonic face on the chest, and he is this like holy, follower of this knightly god of light and radiance. And he dons this plate armor, which is a vast improvement from what he normally has. Plate mail takes up 3 spots. I need to remember that. He can't swim, and he has disadvantage on stealth, but his AC is a 15. Man, and I think maybe this was in the temple, and it was like trying to be cleansed, and Irene is like, I don't think we should mess with that. Like, it's cursed. It's got, the mark of a demon on the front of it. Zeb pushes past, like, I don't really care what it's got on it. I need to survive. I need to live, and if I have this on, I can protect the both of us. Help me get this on. And he puts it on. It like changes shape to match his form. It's got this demon emblazed on the front of it. He doesn't know that spells are going to be harder to cast on him, but it's going to be a DC 15 check. To even cast a healing spell on him. But his AC goes from 8 to a 15. And I think that is huge. So he looks awesome. I think it's like this black armor with his demon head etched on the front of it. He pulls up some slots. We'll balance all that out when I roll for what Irene looks like. But I think that's going to be our ending point. As the two are able to spend a final night here before they head on to their next location. I might do another half episode to figure out what's on the world map close to where they are here and see if she knows of another city to go to. But I think the two together are able to collect what they have here. We've got some armor. I don't know if we're going to advance to level 2, but we might, just because I kind of want to see what it feels like to level up. And we did find 5 things of value, including a pretty big get in this armor, to see what we can do from there. So I'm going to look at what it takes to level up, and we'll do that half session and get everything figured out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was fun. It felt like it went really quick. I'm not even sure how long the session actually lasted. But man, the dice rolls really told a story. It really pulled everything together. We found some really neat gear. Zeb survived. We got another party member in Iron, the Hopeless Governor. We're going to make up some personality traits with her and maybe come up with some quests that she wants to accomplish. And we now have a fighter and a priest. We'll see how long she lasts. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment. I'm glad to be back. I've got up to 160 some subscribers now, and I said if I got over to 150 I'd start making videos again. I wanted to give the algorithm a little bit of time to try to figure out who my audience was, and it looks like it's found some people, so thank you all for joining. And remember, why be a player when you can be a god? Or both.